What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have some unfortunate news. As newly crowned unified lightweight world champion superstar boxer George Kambosos Jr., Australian star boxer, who is 20 wins, no losses, no draws, 10 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age. He is 5'9.5" with a 69-inch arm reach. With that said, he shocked the world November 27th when he defeated former unified lightweight world champion superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez at Madison Square Garden in New York, winning a split decision. With that said, he dropped Teofimo Lopez in the first round. He controlled the pace of the fight. In the 10th round, he faced adversity. He himself was knocked down. He weathered the storm, and then he won the 11th and 12th round. So he became the newly crowned unified lightweight world champion. Then a week later, we had undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin "The Dream" Haney, 27 wins, no losses, no draws, 15 wins by way of knockout, 23 years of age, 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, he took on former IBF super featherweight world champion Mexican superstar boxer Joseph Jojo Diaz, and he won a unanimous decision over Joseph Diaz with George Kambosos Jr. present. George Kambosos Jr. was on the press conference. He was part of the build-up. They were building up a fight between Devin Haney and George Kambosos Jr. It just all makes sense, doesn't it? As we know that this would be for two undefeated champions. So George Kambosos Jr., he stated that he was going to shop around his services. He went the next day. We had undefeated 3-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis in action December 5th in Los Angeles, California at the Staples Center. He took on Mexican star boxer Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He won a unanimous decision over Isaac Cruz. George Kambosos Jr. was present. George Kambosos, he was in a press conference for Devin Haney. He stated that he wanted to face the most exciting fighter. He wanted to be in fight of the year type of fights. And he admitted that Devin Haney was the most exciting fighter in the weekend. So we know that his promoter, Lou DiBella, he also was shopping his services with the former IBF lightweight world champion star boxer in Richard Commey. Richard Commey, he took on, Olympic gold medalist, 3-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko. And it was talks of that possibly him being Kambosos facing a winner. Now we know Lou DiBella, he has ties to Richard Commey, and obviously he has a relationship with legendary promoter, Top Rank CEO and promoter Bob Arum. So with that said, they were shopping their services there as well. Lou DiBella was on the Boxing Voice, Vanessa Gibbs, and was Lou DiBella. He stated that their number one objective was to secure a fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, because Gervonta Tank Davis is seen and viewed as the cash cow from junior welterweight on down, 140 on down, okay? And he stated if we can't do that, then we would look to secure a fight with the winner of Richard Commey Lomachenko. And then asked about Devin Haney. He stated that Devin Haney is an email champion. So we understand what's taking place here. Devin Haney's style, they don't like how they match up with it. He's a pure boxer. He's hard to, look good against. He's hard to pin. He's very high ring IQ, very skilled, very quick, young, athletic. And so nobody wants to take the chance. With that said, you'll make big money fighting Devin Haney as well as fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. You make your biggest payday fighting Devin Haney if your name ain't Gervonta Tank Davis, and you fight for legacy. So with that said, George Kambosos Jr., he stated that he would love to fight Devin Haney, but Devin Haney will have to come to Australia. Devin Haney stated he'll oblige. Then Devin Haney, he stated, I'll fight you on Jupiter if I have to. I just want to make the fight. It just makes sense, doesn't it? We know it's easy to make because George Kambosos Jr. last fight was with who Devin Haney does his co-promoting and the platform which he fights on, and that's with Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn and DAZN. Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos Jr. was on DAZN with Eddie Hearn. He promoted it. It initially went to a purse bid, which Triller won the purse bid, but it went to, since Triller didn't follow through, it went to the second highest bidder in the purse bid, which was Eddie Hearn and DAZN. So with that stated, Bob Arum ESPN, Top Rank, they never viewed George Kambosos Jr. very high. Thus the reason why they had an issue with Teofimo Lopez fighting George Kambosos Jr. to begin with. Remember, Bob Arum, he stated that he thought that George Kambosos Jr. and Teofimo Lopez colluded, allegedly, to get the most money, not come to an agreement, so they would go to a purse bid. And they had the understanding that Triller or another entity outside the Top Rank ESPN would put big money on the line. When Bob Arum, he stated nobody knows who George Kambosos Jr. is, and the kid is just not that good. It's an easy fight for Teofimo Lopez. That's why it was shocking in the outcome of the fight. So we know Bob Arum is not willing to put up big money for George Kambosos Jr. to face off against Vasyl Lomachenko. He's just not willing to do so, okay? He doesn't view George Kambosos Jr. in high regards. So with that said, Lomachenko, he won the fight against Richard Comey, and he holds the WBO, World Boxing Organization's regular title, and they were looking to push the WBO to mandate George Kambosos have to fight Vasyl Lomachenko, but that's going to take some time before that comes to fruition. So with that said, Lou DiBella, he stated, well, we could get another fight in between that, a big fight, and then we could fight Lomachenko. So that big fight comes in the form of Devin Haney. Gervonta Tank Davis broke his hand, his left hand, which is his biggest attribute in this fight with Isaac Cruz. So he's going to be on the shelf. Isaac Cruz looks like he's going into a fight with possibly Ryan Garcia. And it's just not a bunch of options. Teofimo Lopez is now, there won't be a rematch because he's moving to junior welterweight. So, and he has suffered an injury to his esophagus. So he's out the ring. So there's not too many options for George Kambosos Jr. So they want to squeeze out as much money as possible out of the Devin Haney fight. With that said, George Kambosos Jr., he takes to social media, and he puts up a poll, and he asks who should be his next fighter. And while asking who should his next fight be against who, George Kambosos Jr., he puts up a few guys' names, okay? And he states, who should I fight next? Devin Haney, Lomachenko, Tank, or Ryan Garcia? Who's next? I want them all. Who do the great fans want to see me defend my crown against? Okay? And you have 33% of the fans saying Devin Haney, 39% saying Lomachenko, 19% saying Tank, and 9% saying Ryan Garcia. Well, Devin Haney, he got whiff of this, and he responded. And Devin Haney, he stated to George Kambosos Jr., you got the right one first. Don't even know why you're still questioning who should you fight next. Meaning that the first name he put up was Devin Haney. Well, shockingly, this is what George Kambosos Jr. decided to respond with. He states, you and your team know exactly how to make it happen. Meaning, you know how much, put the big money up on. Maybe sell, then this is where it gets tricky. Maybe you should sell some of your expensive jewelry to help with that. Then he says, you don't have to go to Jupiter, brother. You just have to go 8,000 miles across the Pacific down under, meaning Australia. So now George Kambosos Jr. is truly feeling himself, because when George Kambosos was at the Devin Haney fight, his energy and his tone was not that of this. Okay, he was stating that Devin Haney is a good fighter. He's a great fighter. He would love to take the fight. He understands that he has to beat Devin Haney to officially become undisputed. But ever since World Boxing Council, better known as the WBC, President Mauricio Suleiman stated on his platform that George Kambosos Jr. is the official champion and Devin Haney is their is a prideful WBC champion, right? George Kambosos, he suddenly changed his profile, all his social media to undisputed. Initially, after the fight with Teofimo Lopez, he was on record stating he knows he has to go through Devin Haney to officially become undisputed. Now he's changing his tone and he's saying that he's undisputed. Okay, he's changing his status to everything to undisputed since Mauricio Suleiman has claimed such. He stated that, he was being humble. Now he's telling Devin Haney to sell some of his jewelry to put up the big money to make the fight happen. But initially, George Kambosos Jr., he stated it's not about money. It's about legacy. and fighting the best opposition out there and accomplishing the most. Now, he's a prize fighter, so obviously he wants to get paid. His biggest payday was against Teofimo Lopez in his last fight. So Devin Haney and Eddie Hearn are well aware of what his biggest payday are. So what his biggest payday was. So they are definitely, because it came from Eddie Hearn. So Eddie Hearn is more than willing to put up the necessary money to make this fight happen. And Eddie Hearn, he says he wants this fight to happen in April. So now George Kambosos Jr. is looking for the biggest money possible. When he initially stated it wasn't about money, it was about legacy and accomplishments. Well, now that has since changed. And now he's telling Devin Haney if he wants to make the fight, he has to put up the big money. But when it came to Vasyl Lomachenko, George Kambosos Jr. wasn't asking for big money. He says he likes the road that Lomachenko is traveling and the game plan of Lomachenko. He wasn't asking for big money. Now he's telling Devin Haney to sell his jewelry because they know what it's going to take, all the money they're looking and asking for to make the fight happen. Well, unfortunately for George Kambosos Jr., Devin Haney, father, trainer, and manager Bill Haney, and Eddie Hearn, and DAZN, they're going to find the money to come up with. And he'll change the goalposts again. But that's all I got for y'all. Let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. All one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hi, my name is Heather Vahid Hardy, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.